Hi you guys, welcome to the Ambrosia Workbench. Today I'm going to do a short little video to show you how I resize a ring. I'm a jeweler that doesn't like to stretch rings if the ring needs to be made bigger. I always like to add material too, because if you imagine taking a ring and you're going to stretch it and stretch it and stretch it, it's eventually start getting a little bit thinner, it's going to start causing some weak points and just jeopardize the whole integrity and strength of the ring. So today we're actually going to make this little simple guy a size, about a quarter size smaller. So you guys see here today, I'm dressed pretty casual. My hair is all thrown up. I'm not wearing very much for makeup because as I'm working on the workbench, it kind of gets really messy, especially a day like today with how much I've got to do. And so by the end of the day, I usually kind of have like a really nice black mustache going on from all of the polishing. And it's kind of funny because my husband, I'll come home and he's like, wow, I didn't realize I married the bearded lady. So a little casual today, so I hope you guys don't mind, but hey, let's get some work done, right? So let's get started. This little ring, like I said, is going to be sized down just a little bit. You'll see this is called a mandrel, and this mandrel actually gives you different numbers and notches that are going to show you what the ring is sized at currently right now. So this ring is just about a size 8. You can see this line here, and what I want it to be is closer to a size 7.5, 7.75, about right in here. So you can see a little bit needs to be taken out. So how do I figure out how much material needs to be removed from here? I've got this handy little tool. You can see here, and it kind of reminds me of like a measuring cup when you're cooking. You've got the big cup down here all the way to the small. So if I fan this out, you're going to see different quarter size, half size, 3/4, 1, all the way through here. So what this means is if I need to remove half a size here, right here, this is how much material I actually need to remove. It's not a whole lot. It's amazing what a small little bit will do, but taking that little piece out is going to make a world of a difference to make sure this ring fits perfectly. So it's not flipping around on you, it's not flopping, it's going to fit just right. So what we're going to do is put this back on the mandrel here, and okay, so like I said, this is about just a little bit to a 7.75, but I want to take a quarter of the size out. So let's get you guys set up here so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay, so here, make sure the phone's not gonna flip on you guys. Okay, so I put this ring onto the mandrel, and what I'm going to do is use my quarter size gauge that you can see here, and what I'm going to do is scribe on both sides of this this little tool onto the ring. There was a seam in here already. Let me find it. A seam is where the ring was connected before, where it was resized, and so I want to cut it in the exact same spot of where this material, this ring was joined together and sized, where that seam is at. Because if you imagine, you don't want a bunch of cuts in this ring, that's just causing more weak points. You just want one spot. Okay, so here he is, right back here. So what I'm going to do is, now this band has a little bit of a texture to it, so it's going to be a little hard to scribe a straight line here. So what I'm doing is just scribing one side, and then after I cut the piece out, I'll scribe onto the other. So let's move you guys back over here. And this little tool is what's going to help hold the ring as I'm cutting. And so I've got my saw blade here, and what I want to do is just put a little bit of wax on here, kind of add some lubrication, makes it easier to cut the ring itself. So we're going to just scribe. You don't get the nicest nails when you're working on jewelry, but that's just the case. I use my nail to first get the blade in its spot because I want a perfectly straight cut. You want a straight seam. Makes it easier for the other side to join. And as you get towards the back, you want to hold the ring a little bit tighter, a little bit shorter cuts, because you don't want this saw blade, there you go, saw blade to kind of meander off. That's how you cut yourself. Okay, so let's see Now, since I'm taking off just a little bit, what I'm gonna do is squeeze this in, and it might have been just enough to be the size that I want to be. You know what, we can take just a smidge out. So what you do is you're gonna just scribe onto the other side of how much you need to remove. So I'm gonna place the ring back on here. Let's squeeze this in. It's pretty, you know what? I don't think I'm gonna take any more out. It's gonna be too much. But otherwise, if I needed to take more out, what I do is I just scribe right along here. Then I'm gonna have a second line, and then that's how much more I need to cut. So if I need to add material, you can see that now that there's a gap in there, what I would do is cut how much gold I need, you know, using my gauges here. And then I'm actually going to push that gold into the band and then solder it closed. So you're adding material to it, and you're not going to jeopardize this nice thickness of the ring. So like I said, so this is kind of a good size of how I want the ring to be. So I'm not gonna take any more out, because then it's just gonna be too small, and then I'm gonna have to size up. So it's gonna be, here, move it so you guys can see here. So this is gonna be the perfect size of what I need it to be. So I'm gonna start squeezing this in, use a hammer to kind of help bring it all in, and then we'll just solder it closed and polish it, add the hammer finish to it, so you're not even gonna be able to see where the seam was at. So I hope that was helpful for you guys, give you kind of a little sneak peek on how we resize rings the proper way. So if you guys love the video, please comment down below, or if you have any ideas of what you would love to see on how I design or make jewelry, put that down in one of the comments. And of course, always share the video if you know anyone who's looking for jewelry to be repaired, restored, or custom designed. Thanks so much for you guys stopping by, and we will see you next time.